Welcome back to Richmond International. Mark Martin continues to lead, and he's opened up a margin on Johnny Benson. Martin going for his 4th, make that 5th Richmond win in the Busch Series, both in 1993 and both in 1987, or rather one win in 1987. So it would be his 4th this evening if he goes the distance. And down on Tracy Leslie in the 72, the Detroit Gasket car. Terry Labonte battling side by side with the impressive rookie Curtis Markham, who's from Virginia, in the Lysol Pontiac.
Oh boy, Curtis passed on the outside on Terry Labonte, and Terry Labonte is famous for taking care of his tires, so Curtis Markham is really hooked up and doing a great job tonight.
Chad Little moving past the number 8 of Kenny Wallace. 41 in your picture. That's the 3rd Green brother. That's Mark. Let's check with Randy.
Well, one more update on Kenny Wallace, who we expected to be up front here this evening. Not the case at the time. He said this thing is pushing like a truck. So evidently, maybe he would have been better off last night here at Richmond. But he said it badly needs a rubber in the right rear. And if they don't get a caution, they're going to be lapped by the time first round of green flag pit stops come about. Mark Martin's cruising straight up to him. They're going to pit at lap 145.
Tracy Leslie on pit road as we watch this battle. Kevin LePage just ahead of the 8 of Kenny Wallace. LePage a lap down, and Danny Edwards, who had fresh tires, went a lap down. That yellow Lumar car going past the 64. Randy LaJoie, who now has slipped to 10th place. There's number 3 David Green in ninth, or rather Jeff Green in ninth in the Good Range Chevrolet. And LaJoie, the pole sitter, has slipped to 10th. The drivers with new tires, 61 Edwards, 63 Curtis Markham, number 1 Hermie Sadler, have flown right to the front.
I guarantee you all the crew chiefs have looked at this, and the next yellow that comes out, everybody will come in.
Some are not waiting. Mike McLaughlin is in, and Glenn Jarrett's in his brother's pit.
Yeah, Dale Jarrett, as they reported, they had a bad push, and that damage to the right front of the car, Mike, has upset the downforce on the car, making it push even worse. So he was in danger of getting lapped on the racetrack. They have come in to change all 4 tires and make a chassis adjustment on the car. And Dale's pit crew, he only has 3 guys that work for him full time that are on this crew. The rest of the guys are volunteers from Jeff Martin, Rick Bass, John Andretti, Bobby Labonte, and the Robert Yates team. They completed the task, 4 tires, get some wind down the car and send him away. He's lost a lap or 2 though.
Close call there on that pit stop. Also, you saw Mike McLaughlin going out with a much faster stop than Jarrett had. Mike Wallace about to be overlapped by Mark Martin. And here it is as he comes underneath Jeff Fuller.
Ooh, wow.
It wasn't Fuller, it was Wallace that came down.
I'm sure Mike Wallace didn't know he was there, but that was almost an incident there. I mean, that's the closest you can come with it to wrecking and not do it.
So now Tracy Leslie has fresh tires. Watch him steam past Mark Martin and get his lap back. Top 5 in the upper left. Of those 5, only Hermie Sadler has been on pit road for tires so far. And there's a look at Sadler, just having passed Jimmy Spencer for 4th place.
You see Jimmy Spencer using a wide line. That means the car is extremely loose. You can see it break loose coming up out of the corner just then. So he's not having it very well right now. And that wide line is keeping from having to pinch it right down on the bottom of the racetrack and making it looser yet.
You know, here's where the strategy really comes into play right here. We just went past the 100-lap mark. And some of these cars are coming in and getting these 4 fresh tires. The downside is if they catch a caution and some of these leaders is still out there, then they're 1 or 2 laps down. But what the leaders can't do, they can't let these guys run too long on these fresh tires because they'll make up so much ground while they're still out there on the 100-lap tires.
Michael Rich is on pit road as David Green works underneath Jeff Fuller. Fuller dodged the bullet on the last caution. He was about to be overlapped, hung on the lead lap, and he's just gone 1 down.
He was riding that bullet sideways off the corner just then. Jeff Fuller was locked or lost with his hands on the steering wheel there. He was very loose.
So David Green takes over 2nd from Benson, now 3rd. 2 drivers here this weekend, Stephen Park and Jeff Fuller, both headed for Thompson, Connecticut for the Featherlight Modified Tour Sunoco 300. That's this weekend. Qualifying tomorrow and the race on Sunday. Green flag pit stops continuing. Michael Rich, Kevin LePage in for tires. Buckshot Jones. If you're Mark Martin and you stay out forever, try to keep getting all these guys a lap down, or do you come in? We'll check that strategy out when we come back. 105 laps on the board. Mark Martin is your leader.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Autolite Platinum 250 on TNN is being brought to you by Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley has been helping people do things right.
Kenny Wallace and Elton Sawyer have had a battle for the last 20 laps. This is for 14th position. Forward credit forward of Sawyer. And right behind them on fresh tires, Buckshot Jones moving up. And the 75 of Rick Wilson, country car. Engine bound. There.
See, Kenny's car is just not turning good, and I heard Randy say a while ago they're going to put a spring rubber in the right rear. That's going to make that right rear spring
Oh,
stiffer.
we have contact there, and around goes Elton Sawyer in turn 3.
Off the front bumper of Rick Wilson. No caution. Sawyer grabs a gear and gets going. We stay under green.
And that's a big relief for the guys that has just pitted for fresh tires on the green. They do not need a caution flag right now.
No apparent damage on Elton Sawyer's car.
You know, Mike, you was asking before the break how long before Mark can go in there and get tires. He can wait for a little while with the lead that he has.
See Rick Wilson in the 75 car there. He comes right underneath Elton Sawyer. They make contact right there. You see Elton Sawyer turn sideways, and around he goes. He's very lucky nobody hit him.
Well,
wow. That is a drop kick, folks.
yeah, that one's a little hard to explain. Sawyer is on pit road. Bob Sawyer's tires on the number 38 Ford. There they are. Kenny Wallace is also in for tires. Rodney Cohn, the snapper number 43, getting tires as well. Wallace, Artossi, Red Dog number 8. He can run a few truck races next year, at least in the Winston Cup in Busch. Laps down, 10 from halfway, or 12 rather from halfway. Mark Martin has set the pace since lap 69. Took the lead from Johnny Benson, who had led for 6 laps. Martin led 1 lap prior and a run of 27 laps. Now here's Larry Pearson and Jeff Green. Stanley Tools 92, fighting for 9th place. The good wrench Chevy, and here comes Wallace. Here comes Superman on fresh tires,
boy,
right?
oh boy, if there was some way to keep those tires like they are right after a pit stop for the whole race, it wouldn't even be a race. You see Kenny just drive right by on the bottom. Nothing anybody can do about it.
You see him at the ground. He laid up just right there in that one corner, and that's the thing that those fresh tires will do, and that's the reason these leaders just, they can't let those guys run too long, make up all that ground on fresh tires.
So that briefly interrupts the battle between Pearson and Green. Rodney Combs just ahead, also on fresh tires. And Jim Bound is in. And there you see Randy LaJoie getting now left side. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, there's a lot of confusion on the left side there. A little bit of a costly stop for Randy LaJoie. He was reporting the car was very loose. The reason he fell so far back in the field. So they put 4 tires, filled it up with fuel, and made a major chassis adjustment to it. I'm in Mark Martin's pit. He's getting ready to come in right now.
Thanks, Mike. Jim Bound, number 51, took the pit stop, and the Sunoco Chevy of Jeff Fuller is on pit road. Here's your leader.
There's Mark going into turn 3. We'll see if he comes into the pits on this lap. You can see him slowing down. He's coming down pit road as we speak.
Remember, they have to maintain that pit road speed, and that's what takes up so long on a green flag stop. It's not necessarily the 4-tire stop. It's the pit road speed that you have to maintain. David Green's following them in.
45 miles an hour here at Richmond. Glenn?
Well, Mark Martin stops the Winn-Dixie Thunderbird right on the nose. They will do a 4-tire change. I asked Bobby Leslie if they plan to make any adjustments to the car whatsoever. They said none whatsoever, just 4 tires of fuel and send him back out. The car's working perfectly. Now, David Green's crew was monitoring Martin. They wanted to stop at the exact same time so they could come out together. 23.1, a little bit of a slow stop, and here comes the Johnny Benson all the way down at the end of the first, at the end of pit road. He'll make his stop right now, so the tires are looking pretty well worn out, not much left on them.
David Green completes his stop. You see right side going on Benson's car. Larry Pearson is in, Jeff Green, Jimmy Spencer, and Chad Little are all making pit stops, and most all of these will be 4 tire changes.
Pretty much the domino effect. When that leader comes in here, you got to get in with him. Pretty much everybody in the top 10 about followed him in.
Here's Benson and Little, the 2-point combatants going out. Back into it. And Curtis Markham becomes the race leader.
You can see Chad Little actually got beside Benson. Benson got a little bit sideways. Chad backed out of it. That's good sportsmanship there. They're racing for the point. Still a little bit of gentleman there.
Larry Pearson leads his stop, and here goes Jeff Green. Phil Parsons brings the luck here. Whoa!
One thing about it, he won't have to turn the steering wheel much to get out of the pits, will he?
He's definitely aimed in the right direction.
Here's Glenn.
Guys, that was a close call indeed. Phil brought the car in. The car of Randy LaJoy, they had spilled a little bit of fluid out in their pit space, and Phil got in there when he came in just a little bit hot, and the left rear brake locked up, turned the car sideways, but no damage. He's down and away. Pretty good pit stop. They did make a chassis adjustment. I think Phil also was fighting a loose condition.
Thanks, Glenn. Here's a look at it. Yep, just a little bit of something wet in the pit before, and everything worked out fine. 123 laps complete. Curtis Markham is the man up front. As we go to break, we'll be right back.